The MG Show. What real independent journalism looks like.
Remember, thumbs up if you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to ring that bell. Stay tuned, we're going to start right now.
What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong.
Hillary Clinton!
You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Here we are. We're on the MG Show right here today. It is Thursday. What is it? Thursday, the 26th of March, guys, the Ides of March. Want to welcome you guys to the MG Show. Shady, welcome to the show. We're going to be talking about and looking into Trump's cabinet meeting today. I think there's a lot of things that, since we've been kind of focused on other things, we're not realizing the successes that President Trump is having in Iran. And I don't think the regular Candace Owens type listener, sorry, Candace Owens listeners, don't understand really what's happening, guys. And I think they're trying to, make it something other than what it is to keep you not understanding what is really going on. And I think the coverage of this today that we're going to do will kind of show you what we're talking about. Shady.
Yes, sir. Where are you, by the way?
I'm right here. Where you been?
Oh, there you are. You just did your whole little open without you being here.
Well, I have a producer that didn't even let me know.
No, I was listening to him not let you know, and then if I step in and try to say something, then I'm going to be interrupting you, and then I'm going to be in trouble all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So
I mean, at least you could have said this, Yeti.
I just let it go.
Apologize for that.
Just let it go. We're having
apologize for that.
Issues. Yeah, here he comes. Now he's going to play. You want to play ball now?
Did you like and subscribe and repost this video?
Answer the question.
Come on.
Boom. You guys have got that down like well-oiled machine.
Oh, yeah, we're good now.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you for letting me know, guys.
problems.
I appreciate that. But you guys have to understand that America First and MAGA means just that. The corporate media is screaming, World War III with Iran, guys. And, we're going to cut through that globalist fog and fluff, because they're trying to drag us into, they're saying, oh, we're World War III. They're going to drag us into another, Iran quagmire, right, Shane? I mean, but people don't realize that your president is playing 4D chess and winning for the American people. Because Trump is not reacting blindly to chaos in the Strait of Hormuz or Iran, guys. I mean, we talked about this a little bit this morning, Shady, and I'm just going to kind of go over this and then, because we didn't really look at the Japan prime minister and what happened with that, because it's huge. Because he's not reacting blindly to the chaos in the Strait of Hormuz. He's executing his December national security strategy, okay, built on U.S. energy dominance, okay? So that was published by the White House, and a choke point on there was the Strait of Hormuz, okay? It was actually identified. You voted for this. We voted for this. He told you we're going to bomb the crap out of Iran, right? But what's really happening is he publicly called out Israel for striking Iran's South Pars gas field. People might have missed that, okay? But that move sparked Iran's retaliation to Qatar on LNG. Then he warned Iran that if you touch energy infrastructure again, you will face the consequences, okay? Both sides have been put on notice, okay? Israel and Iran by President Donald J. Trump, meaning that he's in control, not anybody else, right? I mean, we got that straight, right? So the bottom line right here is the energy. Guys, U.S. now imports less than 1% of its oil from the Strait of Hormuz. Japan, who was just recently at the White House, still relies on over 90%. And that's why we're not trapped like the rest of the world. The U.S. is not trapped, guys. But Trump's solution, what is it? Drill, baby, drill. Right? Where smart bilateral deals that put you first, America first, guys, and this country first. The Japanese investment was $60 billion pouring into the U.S. for natural gas, creating American jobs and a secure supply. Another $40 billion was done from Iran in order to commit small modular nuclear reactors right here in Tennessee and Alabama. Isn't that interesting? Plus a new cooperation with deep sea critical minerals, guys, to crush China's rare earth monopoly, guys. This chessboard move here, guys, I don't think people are seeing it. And Trump is even calling it out today. NATO is, we're not going to, now we'll come to the war. We're not going to come. They didn't help when help was due. Why? Because they're globalist neocon war machines that need endless war. So Trump is putting them on notice. I mean, you're seeing it happen. And then you got those London insurance cartels not insuring the boats as well. I mean, this is all part of the push-pull that Trump is actually, foisting upon these globalists, Shady.
So the dynamic that you're outlining there, it's so pervasive. It's really interesting because everybody, look at what we've been having to deal with around us. All this stuff going on with all these people trying to make the conversation about them and how their interests are more important than what it is that Donald Trump is doing. So I just don't really understand how this group of military-industrial complex psychological operators, I don't understand how their plight is more important than the world energy source. Where does the world buy energy from? Whenever energy started to become a commodity in the early 1900s, no one bought their energy from anywhere but here. This is where everybody bought their energy from. They bought it from America because America was the one producing it. But then what happened was a certain group of people started working together with the Persian Empire, for lack of a better term, in Iran to develop the oil there. But that oil there wasn't being developed for the people of Iran. It was being developed to work against the American oil. So effectively...
And I was going to just pile on top of that because you're right, because Trump made these Middle East peace deals, but these people in the middle, let's just talk about the Gulf states that are now going to join in on the war with Iran, okay? Because now they feel safe, one, that they've got a deal with America to make, money for their own country. Okay, whatever they do with it is their deal because, we don't entangle, right? Hopefully it'll go down to their people and benefit the whole country, right? It's sovereign. And and then the mullahs and all, the high brass of the regime for Iran is pretty much gone. So I think people are feeling safer, meaning the Gulf states are now, wanting to come to the table, Shady.
Well, it's not that they didn't want to come to the table before.
They were afraid.
It was that they had been made afraid to come to the table.
What I was
saying. Who made them afraid? Who made them afraid? We made them afraid. America made George W. Bush made them afraid. The same people that control the Bush family. Essentially, when you break all of this down, the Bush family is part of the global elite cabal that lords over you, that claims dominion over you, a bloodline dominion over you. They are part of the control of the Iranian oil. That's the reason that we have a problem there. The direct opponents of Donald Trump are the neocon Bushites. that you see fighting him, like Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson, all of these people, all of a sudden coming, they're getting a big head on their shoulders. Why? Because what Donald Trump is doing is he's getting rid of our need for that, guys. The energy that's in Iran, we don't need. What we needed to do, we needed to drill, and we needed to open up restrictions.
Drill, baby, drill.
We had everything being restricted. So the globalists were restricting American energy regulations. Whenever we have more than anybody. And so all these people wanting to fight you right now, they're wanting to fight Trump and say MAGA is dead and all these different things. Well, that effectively messaging is supportive of the regime in Iran.
Yeah. And let's be honest with that island, Kark Island, I think it's called Karg Island. You know, that is a port. What happens in ports, guys? Okay. You know, this is the choke point that they needed, the globalists needed to keep everybody, afraid, right? And then the oil prices up because of that choke point. And Trump is eliminating that choke point for the rest of the world, guys. This is huge. And then we're going to sell them oil.
Well, you didn't think that we were practicing landing our military on oil tankers for nothing, did you, sir?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't think we were setting this up so that we could eventually understand and make sure, because there are all these sanctions on different countries, like there's sanctions on Russia, but no one listens to them. Even though they have sanctions, they send out their oil tankers anyway. So right. I think that something tells me that if Iran starts trying to send out an oil tanker, oh wait, they can't, because someone else, is controlling the Strait of Hormuz.
Yep, that's right. And so I brought up those London insurance cartels. That's the old great game crowd. The old guard, essentially, are these London insurance cartels, and they thrive on controlled chaos and high oil prices. Okay, so so Trump is exposing that too, Shady.
Effectively, what you're talking about is the Dutch East or West India Company.
Mm-hmm.
Effectively, guys, this goes all the way back to that. Like, they are the cartel. The cartel has been in control of this, and right now they're trying to pull. Remember, whenever we talked about rule or ruin, they do not. They are not going. If they can't rule, then they want to ruin it. And I believe that what Donald Trump has done in America, instead, because they couldn't control, they were in the process of ruining it. Right? They were in the process of ruining America because we were too jungle-like to control. So they were going to ruin you. Well, Donald Trump came and saved you. And now what they're doing is they're trying to ruin everything for everybody else. And at a breakneck speed, Batman is in the room and he's stopping them.
Batman. Bow, bam, zoom. So this isn't improvisation. Trump knows exactly what he's doing, but you're watching all these infighting crap, and and we were too, guys, to not pick up on what is actually happening. He is handing this back to you, the people. Okay, it's going into the Treasury, not Lloyd's of London's pocket, not the Rothschild's bank pocket, not the Federal Reserve's pocket, your pocket. And he promised just that, guys. We're getting energy independence, stronger border security. And no more American blood or treasure wasted on managed decline. That's exactly what they were doing, Shady. That's what they wanted. He's delivering exactly what he promised. It's all in writing. The security plan from December of 2025 shows Hormuz as a choke point and something that we've got to neutralize. So he's delivering exactly what he promised, making America energy dominant and strong again. I tell you, Shady, and stay tuned, because I have a feeling we're going to see a little bit of this in the meeting as well, Shady.
Well, you mentioned that word. They're actually utilizing that word, improvisation. They're utilizing that word. They're trying to attack him with that word. They're trying to say that, he's just flying by the seat of his pants. Well, if he was just flying by the seat of his pants, how would he have initiated this operation that told us a long time ago, about 7-8 years ago, a matter of fact, that Iran was a boogeyman state that we were going to take out once we got the opportunity to take them out? Yeah, like people act like, this is not forever war. Yeah. Forever war is a fake war. So forever, Afghanistan and Iraq weren't wars.
Ukraine,
they were false. Well, Ukraine is a war. Afghanistan and Iraq weren't wars. They were false flag. It was a false flag operation to make you think that you were at war with them, because they were in war. War dictates during Napoleon's era anyway, war dictates that you are brutal and you win. We were not brutal in trying to win in Afghanistan or Iraq. What we were doing was we were trying to protect the poppy fields and stop Iran from being able to gain access to oil in Iraq, or to allow Iran to gain access to oil in Iraq. So effectively, look at what you're seeing here for real, and you say improvisation because they don't realize what was coming, because, Jeff, a lot of these people didn't read the drops. They don't really understand what we're doing here.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are beginning to lose hope that things will get better again, but you're watching the wrong shows. Okay.
Yes.
This war, it's only 3 weeks old, guys. Everybody's acting like this is what, 5 months, 10 months, a year? It's not. It's only been a few months, or a few weeks, excuse me.
That's the media.
And the government will go back to the Iranian people. It's happening now, but you turn on Fox News, you turn on any other news channel, they're not telling you that, but it's what's going to happen.
As a matter of fact, you speak of that, and I mentioned to you this morning the interview that Brett Baer did with the United Arab Emirates Prime Minister, I think, and it was insane to see the way that our government was trying to undermine our policy. We have a policy in Iran. What we're doing in Iran, there's a policy there. During the Iraq and Afghanistan war, Fox couldn't come to the microphone quick enough to support it and be like, oh, yeah, we're bombing the crap out of them. Look, we got this helicopter and this bomb and this missile. Oh, no, look at us, America, go, yeah. But not now. He was completely different. Brett Baer was completely different with her. He's like, oh, when do you think Trump's going to end it? Like, acting like that we aren't in control. And then she was so gracious, Jeff. She was amazing. And I think that this is the coalition coming out of the Abraham Accords and everything, that all the negotiations that Trump and Kushner and these guys have done in the UAE, for the UAE, to say we are in lockstep with Donald Trump with all of his policies. Brett Baer couldn't get her to give a millimeter of saying something derogatory about President Trump, and tried like 6 different times in that interview.
So Wigwam is saying, listen to Trump today. We will, and we're going to do that now. Are we sounding a lot like him? Because I haven't even watched it yet. We're going to watch it for the first time right here. Wigwam,
We have not seen it.
let me know. Because I don't think people are truly understanding the economic scope of this operation, okay? You've got all these people like Candace Owens saying that, oh, enlistment is down. No, it's up.
Up.
They want people not to enlist into the army. Why? Because they want to protect who? Iran? China? Russia? Anybody but U.S.? You got to stop listening to these people. That's my advice. I mean, I'm not telling you what to do and never will, but it's getting darn right ridiculous, Shady.
It is. I'm looking that up right now. I'd like to see what I can find on that comparison, to be honest with you, because I know for a fact there's a few people in my family that are extremely excited about going into the armed services now. Recruiting is up 10% in the Navy, 70%. The Air Force is at 100% of its goals now. The Marines are at 100% of their goals now.
All of them, 103% up.
It looks like everything up by 100%.
103 right here.
So nice narrative, Candace. Can't find the truth out there anywhere.
So
I found that in 3 seconds.
Here's Candace. The Army just aligned its max enlistment age to 42, like the Air Force already does, and dropped waivers for one old marijuana possession charge that was effective on 4/20, believe it or not. And it's in AR 601-210 if you want to look it up. But recruiting has hit an all-time high of 103% of its goals in FY25 after years of shortfalls. This expands to the volunteer pool for a shrinking qualified youth demographic, not scrape the bottom for Israel. This sarcasm and routine policy tweaks while troops swear an oath to the Constitution, not Tel Aviv, Candace, isn't America first. It's demoralizing the force we needed for real threats like China, okay? So let's look at what she says. She said this: Pete Hegseth is making recruitment videos and now they are raising the age and removing barriers to join the military. But the polls say that the Goyim are 115% eager to die for Israel. Who the hell talks like that?
A certain group.
Who the hell talks like that?
A certain group that belongs to a certain church.
Yeah. I mean, Candace Owen remember all the, she can't even pronounce words, kerfluffle?
Kerfluffle.
Kerfluffle? It's a fluffle. It's a fuffle. Fluffle. She's an idiot. And Israel First psychos really thought they could keep this illusion up. You can't buy you can buy politicians' influence in polls, but not reality. So that's my comment. It's got 140 views on it, so we're really rocking and rolling.
Nobody's seeing it.
Nobody sees it.
Nobody sees your stuff. It's buried. It's called spam.
Yeah.
I've now have the account that I can see from outside of our two accounts. Your posts in comments are spam. Yeah. My posts in comments are spam. So they're not seen, even though we're paying to be seen. By the way, guys, I just want you to know that I try to see what's going on. I did not see that post from you today, Jeff. So I didn't see that post from you about recruitment. In real time, I went and you saw how fast I came back. Yeah. That's how fast it took me to do that research on my own. And so you can clearly see, does that mean Candace Owens is aloof? Does that mean that she's just, she read the wrong report or a bad article? That's not even hidden on Google. It tells you that right there, that recruitment is up to all-time highs.
And didn't Alexis Wilkins's report say that they wanted no recruitment in the military? So she just proved that she's part of this network, is what Candace Owens really did.
Yes. Yeah, because they don't want any recruitment and they don't want you to vote.
Yeah.
Who does that help other than Democrats? I'm serious.
I know. I'm with you.
I'm not yelling at you, by the way.
You're yelling with me.
I'm yelling with you.
So let's go to President Trump. Again, guys, I don't know if we said this at the beginning, but I'm just going to reiterate. At 1 o'clock, straight up, we're going to go into overtime or premium, because we're actually, Shady, I think you mentioned it, we're behind this month. And we're just going to cover the Trump participates in the cabinet meeting with we're going to pause and we're going to stop and we're going to discuss. Shady, you let me know if you want, if you hear something you want to pause, discuss. But we're going to go ahead and go into this cabinet meeting. I know a lot of you might have already seen a lot of it, but there's a lot here that I think a lot of us are just combing over and not really understanding because we've been too focused on the fake MAGA.
And we're going to jump in, and I have a feeling that a number of the things that we've already discussed here are going to be discussed there, but I'd just like to give all of you the sense to understand that don't be bashful in explaining what it is that you understand about how Donald Trump is working right now. I'd like to, if you, I'm pretty sure most of you aren't, but if you are feeling like, you're in an environment where people are like pushing back on you about this Israel stuff, or the Candace stuff, or the Charlie Kirk stuff, or the MAGA is dead stuff, be very confident. Make them feel like you're laughing at them. The only way that you can't interface with these people by arguing. Jeff, I made a post underneath the show today about, people can't get away from their foolishness. You've got to separate yourself from the fool. So effectively, that's what we are doing. And whenever you mock them in real time, instead of giving legitimacy to their argument, this stuff that Candace Owens is saying overtly, this is overt racism. This is literally the way that they were engineering the society in Germany to get people to go after Jewish people. They levied all types of nonsense like this in the media so that people would support people attacking Jewish people. Okay. So history is history. You need to be judging an individual on the individual's merit.
Yeah.
And after saying that, I'd say thank you so much for all you guys out there. We did get a little bit behind on the premium this month because we gave you the free one last month. And so then we have to do like 1 hour and 15 minutes. We only got an hour, so we're a little bit behind. So we're going to make that up today and tomorrow and be set back on a proper course. Thank you all so very much for supporting us here and for using the space between your ears for something else other than to consume beer and sports.
Mike Hess said, I watched Dan Bongino's show earlier. He kicked ass again today. And I said, yeah, it's almost like watching MG show reruns, isn't it?
Yes.
So we got the reruns going. Thank you. And we're vindicated, guys. Victory lap again. But here we go. This is our President Trump in the amazing cabinet in Trump version 2. Guys, this is Trump V2, Shady Groove. I love this administration.
Yes.
Here we go.
Brian's been on an excursion. Okay. Hi, how are you? Are you all ready? A lot of media, as usual. So thank you to the incredible members of my cabinet. They're doing a phenomenal job. Everybody pretty much agrees to that, including our newest member, Secretary of Homeland Security, Markwayne Mullin. Thank you, Mark. And we all know him very well, and he was a very popular senator, very effective senator. Effective probably being the more important word. JD, don't you think?
Yes, sir.
And we wish you a lot of luck.
Thank you.
I think you do fantastically well. Congratulations to you. You have an amazing family that were here yesterday in the Oval, sworn in. His family's amazing, so thank you very much. We're now on day 41 of the disgraceful Democrat shutdown of Markwayne's department. Congratulations. You came into a department shut down by the radical Democrats, right? But Democrats are really punishing the American people. I saw it today on one of the shows where they were interviewing people at the airport, and they're all angry at the Democrats. They're saying they're actually angry at Schumer. I didn't think anyone knew his name. One woman said, that Schumer is disgraceful. He's a disgrace to our country. But they're angry at the Democrats. They know what's happening. But they're punishing the American people, including travelers at airports, all in the quest to return to open borders and give amnesty to illegal alien criminals. They want to give amnesty to some of the criminals that came into our country. Just about all of them, actually, if you look at it. They love sanctuary cities, which is a sanctuary for criminals. They want to make sure they're taken care of. That's what we're fighting about. That's really what they're fighting. They don't talk about that, but that's what they're fighting about. They want to protect criminals. In many cases, 11,888 murders. Many of them, I will say, are gone now because of us. We got them out. But still have some left. Should have never happened, should have never been allowed to come into our country. But we're not going to let it happen. We're not going to let the Democrats get away with this stuff, and people are wise to them. So they need to end the shutdown immediately, or we'll have to take some very drastic measures. This morning I want to give an update on the Operation Epic Fury, which is an appropriate name because we are absolutely obliterating them. Over the past 3 weeks, we've been hitting Iran's military capabilities at a level that few people have ever seen before. People never knew there was such a capability. We have the strongest military anywhere in the world by far. I built it during my first administration, and I used it during my second administration. Unfortunately, because I'd rather not have to use it. But it's a display of force and precision and skill like nothing the world has really witnessed, although you got a pretty good witnessing of it in Venezuela also. And that was a smaller version of what we're doing now. We're crushing their missiles and drone stockpiles, destroying the defense industrial base. We've wiped out their Navy completely, their Air Force completely. We've wiped out a large percentage of their missiles. And the missile launchers, without the launchers, the missiles don't do any good. And we've knocked out probably close to 90% of the launchers, probably more than 90% of the missiles themselves. Between some they fired and more than they fired, we knocked out. We've also destroyed a lot of the factories. We're continuing to do that, but a lot of the factories where they manufacture the drones and the missiles. The drones too are way down, but the reason they're down is they go one way and they don't come back, because for the most part we're shooting them down. But we also are able to, we've really done tremendous damage to the places where they make them. And just so we set the record straight, because I've been watching the Wall Street Journal's fake news and all these stories that get printed like, oh, I want to make a deal. They are begging to make a deal, not me. They're begging to make a deal. And anybody that saw what was happening over there would understand why they want to make a deal. But they say, oh, we're not talking to them. Anybody would know they're talking. And only a total fool. And they're not fools. They're very smart, actually, in a certain way. And they're great negotiators. I say they're lousy fighters, but they're great negotiators. They are begging to work out a deal I don't know if we'll be able to do that. I don't know if we're willing to do that. They should have done that 4 weeks ago. They should have done it 2 years ago. Or they should have done it when we first came into office, because 2 years ago they had free reign under Biden. Sleepy Joe, worst president in the history of our country, when he allowed to happen to our country at the borders, and even with a thing like this. But not just him. Every president for 47 years, every president should have done this. They should have done it a long time ago, because you cannot give lunatics a nuclear weapon, and they would have had a big one. It stopped really when we did the B-2, but even before that, the Barack Hussein Obama, what he did where he gave them the Iran nuclear deal, gave them free will toward a nuclear weapon. Basically, he chose Iran over Israel and others that didn't want him to do it. But I terminated that deal. Had I not terminated that deal, you would have had a nuclear weapon years ago, and it would have been used, guaranteed. And one of the reasons you know about the guarantee is because their neighbors were sort of like bystanders. They weren't involved very much. They didn't choose heavy sides. They didn't want to, because people were concerned with Iran. There was a big black cloud over the Middle East. They were concerned, but all of a sudden the war starts, and they start shooting at these five, in particular 5 countries. They start shooting at Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Kuwait, Oman. They start shooting at them, and everybody was shocked, including us. You know why? Because they're sick, and they had a plan to take over the Middle East. And some of those missiles that were shot at them were locked long before we even started this process. They were locked and loaded and aimed at those countries. They wanted to take over the Middle East, but we happened to come along, so it wasn't so easy. So right now their navy is sunk in the largest elimination of a foreign navy that has taken place, maybe ever, but certainly since World War II. Their air force is gone. Their anti-aircraft and communications capabilities are totally dismantled. And one of the problems they do have when they deal with us is we deal with people, and the people aren't able to communicate with anybody else. So, because all of their leadership has been gone. The first level is gone, and they met to pick a new level, and they're gone. They're all gone because they didn't make a deal, and because they're sick people. They're really sick. They're really sinister, sick people. And if anybody thinks it was okay to have a group of people like this to have nuclear capability, nuclear weapons, and if we didn't attack with the B-2 bombers, they would have had a nuclear weapon within 2 weeks of that, maybe 4 weeks. But between 2 and 4 weeks, they were planning to have a nuclear weapon. If we didn't hit them at that time with the B-2 bombers, and one of the great air raids in history, maybe the greatest, dark at night, no moon, no light, every single bomb hit its mark and just obliterated that place. So it's now buried deep under earth. And it was an amazing thing, but they would have a nuclear, and they would have used it without question. And you know that because why did they shoot all these countries that weren't even really involved with them? They weren't involved. They had no big problems because they're sick, because they want to take over the Middle East, not just Israel. Certainly Israel would have been the first on their list. They would have used nuclear weapons, a nuclear, you don't need too many of them, but they would have used a nuclear weapon on Israel, and they would have used it on the neighbors, and then they would have come after us. And if we had a weak president, they would have done great damage. But fortunately, you don't have a weak president. I knew what was happening. And I think we've been proven right. They took one missile, went 2,500 miles. They supposedly didn't have a missile like that. They had no missile with that capability. But they shot the now famous Ireland, the island that the UK was very afraid to give us, because they didn't want to get dragged in. But we don't want to get dragged into their wars either. It's one thing, we're very disappointed. I'll say it publicly. We're very disappointed with NATO.
You hear that?
NATO has done absolutely nothing. And I've always said, 25 years ago, I was somebody that wasn't a politician, but I was always involved in politics, and I understood politics. I said 25 years ago that NATO's a paper tiger, but more importantly, that we'll come to their rescue, but they will never come to ours.
Because they're protecting the globalist never war stuff, guys. Okay? And Trump is calling them out right now. You're seeing it. This is huge.
Remember that we said this. They didn't come to our rescue. Now they all want to help. When they're annihilated, the other side is annihilated. They said, we'd love to see.
When they have no choice.
They actually made a statement, a couple of them, that we want to get involved when the war's over. No, it's supposed to get involved when the war's beginning, or even before it begins. We had the UK say that we'll send, this is 3 weeks ago, we'll send our aircraft carriers, which aren't the best aircraft carriers, by the way. They're toys compared to what we have. But we'll send our aircraft carrier when the war is over. I said, oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. Don't bother. We don't need it. And we don't need it. And we don't need them. We estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our mission. And we're way ahead of schedule. If you look at what we've done in terms of the destruction of that country, I mean, we're way ahead. Think of it. They have no Navy. And they had good ships. 154 ships have been shot down and are resting very nicely at the bottom of the sea. And we did that in a matter of less than a week. Because we have the greatest military in the world by far, nobody even close. So we estimated it would take approximately 4 to 6 weeks to achieve our mission. 26 days in, we're extremely, really a lot ahead of schedule. The Iranian regime is now admitting to itself that they have been decisively defeated. They're saying to people, this is a disaster. They know it. That's why they're talking to us. They wouldn't talk otherwise. But they're talking to us because they've got a disaster in their hands. They're defeated. They can't make a comeback. We're free to roam over their cities and towns and destroy all of their crazy nuclear weapons and missiles and drones that they're building. And we're doing that. They now have a chance to make a deal, but that's up to them. And they'll tell you, we're not negotiating. We will not negotiate. Of course they're negotiating. They've been obliterated. Who wouldn't negotiate? They are begging to make a deal. We'll see if we can make the right deal. And if they make the right deal, then the strait will open up. Hormuz Strait will open up. And even now, we don't know if there are any mines. You know, they have 22 they call mine droppers. Think of it. Who would have 22 mine droppers? There's a boat that drops mines. Who has 22 mine droppers? Except for people with very evil intention. So every one of those mine droppers has been struck with the same weapon we used to stop drugs from coming into the United States of America. When we hit those boats, it's the exact same weapon, extremely effective. We have unlimited supplies and extremely effective. But they have no more mine droppers. By the way, speaking of drugs, we're 98% down drugs coming in by water, by the ocean, by the sea. 98%. And we're trying to find out who are the 2% because we think they're the bravest men anywhere in the world. Maybe women. But whoever's on the very brave. Or
I'd just like to jump in here, and this is just a small point just to make it really quick to each and every one of you, because a lot of people won't be paying attention to what's going on because a lot of you are actually functional human beings that aren't addicted to illegal substances. Here in the state of Oregon, there are no such thing currently as illegal substances, and everyone is pretty much free to use whatever the hell it is that they want to use. But for the first time, literally in my adult life, what's happening right now out there is that the price of street drugs is going up. You're no longer able to buy a whole handful of drugs for nothing. The handful of drugs is going to cost you about double what it was costing you a year ago. So that supply is being eliminated. Otherwise, there would be no way that those numbers would be going up. And that's happening. I've been tracking this because I felt like that this would be the best way to track whether or not what he's saying is actually true, is to be tracking the current street prices across the country. And almost across the board, they're going up. So he is eliminating. Right now, you have the whole system. Remember, you're a conspiracy person. You've known for years that the CIA are the ones in charge of bringing the drugs here, right? We are making this connection 100%. 47 in the chat. If you're 100% making the connection, that it is the CIA bringing the drugs to America that have been controlling Venezuela and have been controlling Colombia and all these other countries with all the cocaine and the Chinese manufacturing of fentanyl to come into America, is the same exact CIA that is being puppeted Iran and has been being utilized by the Bloodline family as an intelligence agency that is lording over the world. Is the same CIA that's connected to the Bloodline elite that are shoving all this stuff down your throat that Donald Trump is currently eliminating. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
Doesn't watch television. But where drugs coming in by sea, coming in by water, are 98% down. And now we'll stop the drugs coming in by land. The land is the easy one. You had to stop the water. A lot of it came into the water. Now it's all pinched. And these people are trying to come in by land. And we will, that's it. That's the easy one. But we had to take care of the water first. Nobody's coming in. Virtually nothing is coming in anymore. It was hundreds of millions of dollars a week were coming in by water. But they now have the chance, that is Iran, to permanently abandon their nuclear ambitions and to chart a new path forward. We'll see if they want to do it. If they don't, we're their worst nightmare. In the meantime, we'll just keep blowing them away, unimpeded, unstopped. Well, there's not a thing they can do about it. They can't do anything about it, you know. I tell you, if they could, you'd be hearing about it. You'd be hearing about it. You don't hear anything about it. They can't shoot our jets. We have the best military equipment in the world. No, not even a contest. And you see that with Venezuela. They had other equipment. They didn't have ours. It didn't work. Think of it. We did the situation in Venezuela. It was a great military operation, getting a very, very dangerous man who's killed a lot of people, forced people into our country. Incredible. He emptied his prisons in Venezuela, emptied his prisons into our country, and I hope that charge will be brought at some point.
Real quick, Ames, thank you so much. Ames Camps, $20. My favorite show, thank you. EMP Hands, thank you for the subscription. Also, Southpaws, KX2, thank you. And there was another one up there, too. Was it G Brothers? You guys are awesome. Thank you so much, guys.
Jeff, I wonder if the audience realized that they're our show. You guys realize that you're the show for us? Like, watching you guys comment is like our show. Yeah. So you guys are our favorite show. You guys are our favorite show. That is for sure. And don't make me get out the... See how I turned that around on him? You did. Spin. That's good. That's good spin, though. That's good. Thank you. All right, back to your regularly scheduled program.
Charge that hasn't been brought yet. It should be brought. He emptied his prisons into our country and was a major purveyor of drugs coming into our country. And he's now been captured and, I guess be given a fair trial. But I would imagine there are other trials coming because they've really sued him just at a fraction of the kind of things that he's done. Other cases are going to be brought, as you probably know. In the meantime, with Iran, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing, and nobody's a match for the United States, but they're not a match for the United States. It's small potatoes. That's why I'm so disappointed in NATO, because this was a test for NATO. This was a test. You can help us. You don't have to, but if you don't have, if you don't do that, we're going to remember. Just remember this in a number of months from now. Remember my statements.
This is a test for NATO. You heard it. Oh my God, guys. We said that. We literally said that we're getting ready to see who our friends are and who's going to support us whenever we're doing the thing that they say has to be done. Remember, they've been telling you that the thing is, you're Iran, big boogeyman. Nobody can do anything. They're so big, this big. Then you go do something like, oh my God, why'd you touch Iran? What are you doing with Iran? What's the matter? Yeah. Why are you touching me? Which is true. Because, a lot of the, but Trump got the other, countries to pay up, right? And, those other countries want the war with Ukraine. They want the war. They wanted Iran to stay in place because it benefits them. It benefits their Lloyd's Bank of London insurance, right? It benefits the globalists. It benefits everybody but you and the people that live in that region. And this is the economics that people are not wanting to see, okay? Or maybe we just, people don't know economics, and I understand that because you're really not taught even how to balance a checkbook, in college. But, this just makes so much sense, guys. Take away that boogeyman, allow things to flow through, make deals with other countries to sell oil from America, because we only get 1% from the Strait of Hormuz. Japan gets 90%. Japan just gave us a lot of money to make nuclear reactors and deep mine minerals to get the monopoly on minerals away from China. It's so huge, Shady.
I think you just touched on something very important when you were saying insurance. Because remember what we were talking about when we were talking about the Metabiota and Hunter Biden and what they were doing. Yep. They were going around and they were saying, okay, well, there's all of these bio labs over there, so you might want to buy yourself some pandemic insurance. Well, effectively, what did Donald Trump do? He went and he did the Abraham Accords. And because of the Abraham Accords, what did he do? He gave the Middle Eastern countries assurance that America is going to stand with them whenever stuff gets dicey. So the reality is all that has to happen. Remember, Jeff, when Vladimir Putin came out and he made that long statement where he articulated the historical nature of Russia and their experiences with America and the intelligence agencies, what did he say? He said that they will never negotiate with me in good faith. That every time they make a negotiation with me, I say okay, and then they go break it, and then I agree to this, and then they go break it. That has been the global world order that all countries have been experiencing with America. What happens if we give a country assurance that we are going to stand with them, and then, for crying out loud, holy crap, who would have thunk it, we follow through?
Yeah.
And so we did give them insurance that whenever this was going wrong, you could depend on America, and that right now, for the first time in a long time, is playing out to their benefit.
So we have a question, or we have our gas prices should be way down, not way up. Well, you're witnessing the push-pull between the globalists and Trump, okay? They're putting more insurance costs on it. Then you and your state or local area put taxes on it to make it look worse than it is. Oil is $94 a barrel right now, $94.97, okay? Gas prices are only up $4.66. But you're going to see a little bit of a push-pull. This is a battle with the resource called oil, and they're trying to make it look like Trump is failing and make you give up. Isn't that a good way to put it, Shady?
Yes, it is, because because there's a difference between what the listener is seeing here. American oil supply has not been the centerpiece of the world oil demand since the creation of OPEC in the 70s. Iran's oil has been the centerpiece. So the rest of the world has been buying Iran's oil, not a lot of American oil. So we're currently in the process of ramping up. But the reason that the price is going up is because the demand on the world stage isn't being met due to Iran not making enough oil. So the lag, if you will, is for the American manufacturing to catch up. Once American manufacturing catches up and starts sustaining global demand, then prices are going to normalize, and then we're going to continue to drill,
and remove the regulations. Yep.
All gone. And then the next thing you know, I would say probably circa the election midterms, you're going to see like $1.50 gas again.
And if you understand macroeconomics, things are happening at the top over here with the oil and all the stuff that Trump is doing. It takes a while to get down chain. Okay. It takes a while. Okay. Everybody in America wants to go to Taco Bell in the drive-thru and get the taco right away. Okay.
Really? They want it thrown at them.
They want it thrown at them. You're not going to get the taco right away, but you need to understand economics in order to understand that this is better for America. Gas prices are temporarily high, but there is a war for the oil, guys. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, you're saying you can't get out of the car and just like walk past the other cars to get your taco.
That's right.
Right.
Well, that's what people want. They want to get it fast. They want it now. I want it now.
Exactly. Gotta wait.
Gas prices are too high.
But they don't realize, look at California. You guys have so much taxes on your crap that it's ridiculous, and that has nothing to do with Trump.
I paid $6.50 a gallon for diesel yesterday.
And that has nothing to do with Trump.
It has absolutely nothing to do with Trump. It has to do with the idea that the state of Oregon has like a $2 tax on every gallon of diesel.
And it has nothing to do with Trump. You guys are understanding, right? Yes?
Yes.
Press 47 if you guys are understanding.
They are, man. Now, trust me, dude. You're not going to get anything past these people.
I love you guys. Here we go back to the regularly scheduled program.
They have an expression, a great expression, never forget. Can never forget. So as we end threats to America abroad, we're focused here at home on building the greatest economy in the history of the world. Now, before this started, the Dow hit 50,000. The S&P hit 7,000. Both of those achievements were not achievable. Every one of you, most of you, I guess, said you'll never hit 50,000 during a 4-year period because it was too high a number. Well, we hit it in our first year. And I said, well, now we have to take an excursion to Iran and we have to stop this maniac who's no longer with us. The supreme leader wasn't so supreme, no longer with us.
The supreme leader?
We have to stop him.
Is that a Taco Bell supreme leader or?
I think so. Wow.
Blowing up the world, blowing up the Middle East, and blowing up our country, and we did that. And frankly, I thought the oil prices would go up more, and I thought the stock market would go down more. Hasn't been nearly as severe as I thought. I think they have confidence in maybe the American president and maybe the people sitting around this table. But Americans filing their taxes this year are receiving record-setting refunds. It's been a very big story. Well, it should be a big story. I don't think you write about it that much, but I speak about it. I speak about it because if I speak about it, at least people hear. You don't write about it. You don't write about the drug prices going down. It'll be going down 30, 40, 50, 60%, 70%. Favored nations. Called most favored nations. We're going to be paying the lowest price anywhere in the world. Before we paid the highest price in the world, Bobby, right? And now we're going to pay the lowest price in the world. That's quite a difference. It's a difference of from 40 to 70 and 80 and even 90%. That's a pretty big difference. But we're slashing regulations and investment is pouring in from all over the world. We have the most investment of any country in history has been put into our country in the last year. And again, we had to take a little detour. Won't be long. Going to end soon. We had to take a little detour, go to Iran, and we had to put out a fire. Very dangerous fire that could have blown up big portions of the world, if not the whole thing. So tomorrow we'll be announcing a variety of actions that we're taking to support American farmers, who we never forget. We love the farmers. We gave them $12 billion out of tariff money. We had a tremendous amount of tariff money come in. And we continue to have. We've gone, as you know, the Supreme Court gave us a very unfortunate, foolish ruling. A ruling that gives the people that have ripped off our country for many years, gives them some money back. But it's one of those things. It's a terrible, terrible, horrible mistake they made, but it's okay because we have another method that's just as good. We'll use the other method. But because the tariff money has been so substantial, we gave our farmers, who have been mistreated by some countries, we gave them $12 billion. And they're extremely happy, and they deserve it. They've been great. They never complain. They just go out and they farm, and they wouldn't do anything different. They wouldn't trade jobs with any of you, except maybe some of the fake media. I don't know. Somehow I don't see that. I like their job better, actually. I love the farmers. So we gave them $12 billion. So in just a few moments, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent will discuss the actions that we're taking to address energy prices, which have not gone up as much as I thought, Scott, to be honest with you. And, it's not over, so maybe it'll go up a little bit more. It's all going to come back down to where it was and probably lower. And my prediction...
It's funny that our chat was talking about that, and just listen to that, okay? And All right. So, people need to understand what's really going on. We're all about, we want it now. Everything is like instant gratification. That's how you guys have been learned, right? It's not always instant. Okay. You heard the president saying that he thought gas prices were going to go much higher. He thought the stock market was going to go much lower, and it didn't. Why?
Because of confidence in the market and confidence in the leadership. Just like he said, there's no other
10 seconds to premium. Yep, 10 seconds to premium, Yeti. Let's go ahead. 3, 2, 1. Sorry, Shady. I just noticed we're at the top of the hour. Go. All right.